Hi guys, I don't know if the problem is with politicians or with journalists, but the public have been convinced that government financing works something like this. There's a big pile of cash probably sitting in a bank vault, and government ministers go to Rachel Reeves with a suitcase or a bucket and say, give me some cash from my relevant department. Now, Reform UK want to get rid of net zero, and they think that there's a big pile of cash that they can use to spend on other stuff. Have a listen to this.
It seems to me everything Reform UK say will be paid for by scrapping net zero. It's not an infinite pot of money.
It's not an infinite pot of money, but it's a large pot.
It's not a pot of money. Net zero is about future investments, current investments and future investments in different technologies to deal with climate change. Now, of course, Reform UK is backed by the fossil fuel industry, so they don't want to spend money on renewable energy. They don't really have a problem, I don't think, with carbon capture, which would, of course, allow the fossil fuel industry to continue as normal. But when it comes to renewables, they seem to be against it. Some of their MPs and their representatives were for renewables when they were Conservatives, but suddenly they've changed their minds. But once again, this idea that there's a big pile of cash sitting in a bank vault or something, and if it's not spent on net zero, then we can use it to spend on something else, is insane. This idea that the finances are like a household needs to be put in the frigging bin.
Of money. Whereas Rachel Reeves wanting to increase taxation on non-doms or increase capital gains tax or these various things actually have a completely counterproductive effect.
Mr. Wilson, it's going to pay for the winter fuel payment, it's going to pay for the two-child benefit cap, it's going to pay for sending Ian Huntley to El Salvador. I mean, it's mad. There's no way it can pay for all of this.
It's one of a number of things that we'll be looking at, and it is a big sum of money, and it will mean that there'll be lots of money available to do far more important things that actually chime and resonate much more strongly with people in Britain who are suffering on a daily basis. A third of people in London have at some point had their mobile phone stolen from them. This is not good enough. And if we get, and it has a devastating effect on the economy itself. If we're making London and Britain a less attractive place for people to live, to run their businesses, to invest there and come and travel as tourists, then crime itself is having a negative effect on the economy. If we can get on top of that, it will pay for itself. And you ask, is this something we can afford? It's quite simply something we cannot afford not to do.
Net zero will attract investment, new technologies, new jobs. Reform UK want to dump that. And he's talking about, well, we need to attract investment. We need to keep people in Britain. We need to improve public finances. Net zero, I've mentioned before, insulating homes would save ordinary people hundreds, if not thousands of pounds per year. But Reform UK want to get rid of that. That would bring down energy bills overnight, because as soon as your home is insulated, you would be spending less on energy to keep it warm. These are practical points. This would create jobs in society. You need people to go in and insulate the homes. You need people to set up the solar panels or build the infrastructure for wind turbines and stuff like this. This would boost the economy. But what's Reform UK's response? No, we want to get rid of this. We want to go back to coal, and we want to talk about mobile phone theft. How are these things related? You need policing, yes, but getting rid of net zero is not the solution. You need to increase taxation, you need to borrow money, you need to train up police staff. All of these things cost money. But once again, there isn't a pot of money sitting somewhere. There isn't a bank vault filled with cash that you just go in and take it for this, and if you don't take it for this, it'll be left for someone else. It's insane. And unfortunately, the public are convinced this is how economics works and how governments finance their departments. If Reform UK get in, it's going to be an absolute disaster. They're not interested in providing services to the public. They're interested in cutting regulations, which these cuts would benefit the richest in society, corrupt businesses. They want to remove protections for workers, protections for the environment. Who will benefit from that? Ordinary people? Of course not. It's a party of the rich for the rich. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.